My name is Kim. I did all my childhood in Huntington Beach, which was great. I pretty much learned to swim in the ocean. The ocean was I loved it a lot. Like when I was in kindergarten and stuff, we used to walk around with my shirt off all the time. I've been called he and she my entire life. When I was born, I was called he constantly. I was called he wearing dresses by adults. I always felt like a boy. I was made fun of from kindergarten all through high school. I went to a Christian private school. My aunt made me my dresses. They were all plaid jumpers. And I would wear tights. The tights were always ripping out because I was playing Army all the time with the boys. The girls wouldn't let me play with them or associate with them in any way. I always had to hold my pee every day. They literally physically would not let me into the girls' bathroom. And they were like, well, this is the girls' bathroom. And it just crushed my spirit. So I was slowly being crushed. From that time on, I never liked public bathrooms or locker rooms. So I never got naked for gym. I hated gym. I used to just wish I had a different body, especially when puberty hit and I got my chest, because it's always been large. I did not tell my parents I got made fun of. I didn't tell them when I was spit on. I didn't tell them when I got knocked down by a grown man when I was riding my bike to high school because I looked like a dyke. All this stuff happened to me and I never told my parents. So they didn't have a chance to help because I didn't tell them. I did feel like a guy, but I tried to be a girl, but it never felt right. Like it was really confusing. And then I started doing drugs. I was stoned and drunk for at least 11 years, like nonstop. Cocaine, MDMA, pills, acid. Whatever someone gave me, I would just put in my mouth. I smoked a lot of pot. One day when I was working, I suddenly announced, oh my God, I'm gay. And they all just started laughing hysterically. And they're like, oh, finally, Jesus, Kim. So then I started dating women. So kissed my first girl and, all that stuff. And I was kind of in the lesbian community a little bit, but I never related there either. So I started to read books. Stone Butch Blues, Leslie Feinberg, amazing activist. It's a classic gay literature book, and it's about a person who is female to male. So I read that book, and it totally changed my life. I was like crying, this person, that's me. And that's when I really seriously started thinking about, wait a minute, okay, I'm gonna do this. There was no internet, so I didn't really know. And I guess I was kind of scared, and so I would just have these waves of severe obsession about it and then just kind of putting it out. And the reason why is because I did not want to tell my family. I grew up very Christian. I really didn't understand gayness. And I wanted to make absolutely sure that I understood all the effects and the negatives and the positives. And each day that went by, the positives started outweighing negatives.
Growing up, I really wasn't sure who I was. I remember I'd want to like run and like kiss a boy that I had a crush on or whatever and not understand why. I decided to take it upon myself to sit in my own reality and know that I was born male, but I did in the back of my mind have a feeling that I wish I could wake up the next day as a girl. And then I also knew, well, I don't think that's possible, so I guess I might be gay because that's what people say, but I wasn't happy being a man. So there was a lot of confusion.
I joined the military at 18 because I grew up in a fundamentalist Christian cult that told us we shouldn't go to college because it would lead us away from God. Looking westward, you see we weren't allowed to go to the movies or listen to modern music or watch much television or anything, so I was very disconnected from the world. And joining the military as a medic was the best way for me to sort of get away. As soon as I finished my 4 years, though, including Desert Storm in Saudi Arabia, I got out and decided I was going to start exploring who I was.
And so going through therapy and into psychiatrists, they just kept telling me, no, you're just a very male-identified woman. People took me other way, tried to basically, you're just a dyke, so deal with it. But I was like, no, not that I didn't like being a dyke, but it wasn't, I knew it. In the core of me, I knew that I was a man, but nobody knew how to say, you're a transsexual. They just didn't have the tools back then. And I was fighting and saying, no, I'm a man. And then I came upon a therapist, and this therapist one day, and I'll never forget, that is the pivotal turning point to why I'm sitting here today being this man. She looked at me and I told her, I said, I feel like a man. And she said to me, you know what? That's okay. I believe you. And I was like, who are you? I've been through like so many therapists and every single one of them were like, cut me off immediately. And this woman was like, I believe you. And that was the initial thing that made me believe that I could be a man. And she helped me figure out how to do it with no internet, with no doctors, with nothing. We investigated and found our own way through doing it. That woman saved my life. That therapist saved my life.
And I feel like when I transitioned, I was finally able to let what came naturally out. You know, I had learned a lot of false masculine behaviors just to mask who I really was. And transition let me, you know, just be myself in a lot of ways.
So that brings us up to the present, really. And I just made the decision. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to wait anymore. That second that I even said it to myself, this huge weight lifted off of me. Like I felt weighed down before. So I immediately made doctor's appointments right away. From the time I said I was going to do it to the time I did my testosterone was like 2 weeks, which is really fast. And so my first shot of testosterone was November 17th, 2012. People always talk about after the first 2 weeks, I finally felt at home, or I finally had this huge like calmness. I think I have had psychological changes because I think I am calmer. It was subtle, but yet, I don't know, it's hard to explain. The other changes I've noticed, especially this last month, I'm getting acne, which is common. It's male puberty, but my hair is growing way faster than it used to. I've never had a problem growing hair or fingernails. Now it's double fast. So this is the testosterone right here. My voice has changed, so my voice is lower. I can talk like this. I can probably go an octave lower than I could before. Next week will be my 3rd month, and I feel like changes are really gonna go fast. So this is the only medical assistant-y thing I do. I'm a medical assistant, and the only thing I do is for myself. Kind of funny. This is my little calendar. I'm gonna write it down. What's the date? 2:30. I'm doing 100 milligrams in my left thigh. You take your leg and you go like that, in half, and you do it in half, and then you do it in half this way, and you do it in the outer quadrant. So right now I'm just concentrating on, I have to get a job. I'm gonna have to tell my job what I'm doing, and maybe that's partially why I haven't gotten a job yet, because I'm nervous about it. Because I'm gonna be changing my name, and I'll probably keep Kim and just change it legally, because on my social security card and all that stuff, it says Kimberly. And so when you work somewhere, you have to fill out all this information with your legal name. I think it's supposed to be Iron Man. No blood. My parents are old, they're conservative, and they're Christian. So I don't want to have them have a heart attack because their daughter is becoming male. I think there's selective honesty. It's whatever's best for you, and that's what's best for me right now. So I'm not telling them anything. So a lot of my friends are super supportive, and frankly, almost every single one of them is straight, which really doesn't, gay people are some of the most prejudiced for trans people, honestly. Hate to say it, it's true. It's just kind of weird. Some people have asked me, do you want us to call you he? When do I call you that? It's going to be difficult for people. They've known me as she, and I have a big chest. And it'll be a lot easier once that's gone and I have facial hair. So I met Sweet Pete from dancing because she's my dance partner, basically. We were always the first ones to dance, and it was like this ritual.
She was a super good lead, and I just always followed, and it's been that way for, over 10 years, I guess.
I consider her my best friend, really. I wasn't afraid of telling her. She doesn't have a problem with anybody, so, she's like the best dancer. She's super pretty and just super cool.
Kim is good people, and I don't get how people are not okay with it. It's got nothing to do with anybody else. It's none of my business. But if you want me to help, I'm there. Totally on it.
The worst thing I feel right now is about my chest. I don't like it. I want it gone. So the more manly I get in other areas, the more I realize that I have this chest. I'm wearing a binder. It's really tight. Apparently on testosterone, your chest will go down more because the fat gets redistributed. And I've heard it time and time again, so I'm just waiting for that time. It's around 6-7 months when it's almost like your boobs deflate. It's the worst angst any female to male has. Even if you have a really small chest, you have big angst over it. Right. Pineapples. Ow. That was close. A lot of people have a key, though. A lot of people, not everyone. People have been really supportive, though, in general. I was afraid of our friends, what they might think, Seeing some of my friends didn't say anything, and I was worried. I'm a little concerned about relationships with guys. Really not the gay men in my life, but the straight men, I was concerned because, they hug me and kiss me. I don't know how it's gonna change, and it makes me kind of worried. Am I supposed to not hug guys anymore, right? So you try to put this construct on it, how would a straight guy act? But I don't want to do that. I know how I would act. And I'm not fully a straight guy yet because I really don't think I am until I get my surgeries and stuff. I honestly feel that way.
That goes through a lot of our heads. Will I be masculine enough? Will I be male enough? Will I make the world know that I'm a man now? And I think what I could say right now to people and to trans people and even to the world is that that's the thing that we need to understand that is so great about this new movement of trans people, is that there is no right or wrong way to be male or female. It is about being yourself. It is what I've learned through my transition that changed everything for me. Once I realized there is no right or wrong way, just be me. Just be Buck. Love who you are. I swear it comes out of you, and then people are just like, wow, you're like so happy. And I'm like, yes, because I'm in my body. Learn how to be in your body, however that is. I think what I want to say is, I didn't get the penis. And I didn't get the penis because I don't want the penis. Not because it's a bad thing or whatever. It's just for me, I didn't want to have a penis. And so many people were telling me, well, you're never going to be male. And once I realized, what does that mean, I'm never going to be male because I don't have a penis? That's the programming that we've been programmed throughout the world, that men have penises and women have vaginas. And if that's the only thing that's going to make me male, that is ridiculous.
One of the trans people I know very well, one of the things that she educated me about was that she hadn't had bottom surgery and that wasn't necessary. And then I met Buck Angel and got to know Buck Angel and sort of wrapped my head around the fact that most trans people, or a large number of trans people, weren't going in for vagoplasties or phalloplasties that would give them genitals that kind of didn't work and often would lead to the inability to orgasm or climax. They would stick with the genitals they got stuck with and change everything else. So most of the people I know who've had surgery have only gotten top surgery, not bottom surgery. Which helps them present, and then genitals are non-determinative, and they stick with what they've got that works. And that broke sort of nationally when we had the pregnant man on Oprah.
I thought about seeing everything, and then I saw a pregnant man.
People had to wrap their heads around legally male persons who had uteruses and ovaries that spat out eggs and could give birth.
I think we're making big strides in top surgery, but bottom surgery, at least trans male bottom surgery, has got a ways to go. Trans female surgery, bottom surgery, has made huge leaps and bounds, and they actually have functional, orgasmic, anatomy. You might not even know they were trans females. That's how natural the docs have been able to actually create the anatomy. And not just natural looking, but natural functioning as well. The future, I think, is bright because, let's face it, there's lots of resources being expended in the trans health community. And, I just want to call to the rest of my colleagues who do this kind of surgery and serve this community to get out there. I mean, you'll be welcomed with open arms. Get out there in the university. Stand up, speak, educate. And that's the only way to really knock down all the myths.
Did you think it was weird? Did you know I was a girl when you met me? Like I was female at all? Did you assume it, or did you think I was a guy?
I was just like, well, whatever. I didn't want to assign anything because I figured you were either transitioning or identifying as something else. So I just went with it.
You didn't think it was weird that I try to teach you how to dance and stuff?
Yep.
Cool. I don't want anyone to think I'm creepy. I'm not creepy. But people are people,
Yeah.
Plus, everyone should learn how to dance. I love you, Samson. Oh, I love you. Come here. I love you. You're a good boy. Samson, what do you think? What do you think of my low voice, Samson? Well, it's hard to... My mood's a lot better because I have Samson, so... I was pretty depressed when, so I'm not as depressed, but that's probably not due to the tea or anything. I don't really notice a change that I attribute to the tea, except that general, I don't get as mad, or I don't act the same way when I get mad that I used to act. I don't know, I like to have almost like a little tantrum, and not in front of people ever, but just, I just get really mad, and I would cry sometimes out of frustration, But yeah, I don't do that anymore. Like, I wanted to cry the other day and I couldn't. What I'm scared of is my parents and my family. So I haven't told them. I don't know if I will. My mom did say on the phone, do you have a cold? Your voice sounds lower or whatever. I don't know what's gonna happen. So it's okay with me if I had a beard and I was gonna go visit him and I shaved it. Some people would say, that's crazy, why would you fucking do that? Like, they should accept it. Well, that's not how families work though. That's not how life works. I mean, people don't just accept stuff usually, and I'm not gonna shave my legs. So, you know, if I wear shorts, this might be the start of a conversation. They're gonna say something. This is Golden Gardens, and this is Shilshole Bay in Seattle. And I love it down here. I've spent hundreds of thousands of hours down here. It smells like the ocean. It's just quiet, not a lot of people. I love looking at boats a lot. My ultimate goal is to, if my outside could match my inside finally, I want to feel calm. That's the only way I can put it. Like, I never feel all right in my head. There's always an edge. I can be calm, hopefully, and I can look how I picture myself.
The root of what happens inside a trans person doesn't depend on whether or not they're beautiful, doesn't depend on whether or not they are overweight. It depends on their personal sense of comfort in their self. Well, I know that gender dysphoria is a psychological term, basically defined by non-trans people who are in the psychological field. They define it simply as an unhappiness with assigned gender role. It's a much deeper experience than that to be a trans person. It's different from the body dysphoria of someone who thinks of themselves as, you know, not very attractive and wanting repeated plastic surgeries to improve their appearance some way.
Peace and harmony, that's right, peace and harmony and love. And understand most of the time people don't get us just because they haven't had the teaching and don't understand. It's not personal against you, it's not personal against me. It's because they haven't had that kind of training and teaching and understanding. So we have to give them grace, just like we want them to give us grace.
The fact that we're having a trans march today is really a reflection of how far human beings have come in their struggle against injustice. You know, people are always despairing that things won't change, people don't care. But look how far we've come from the Stonewall Rebellion, the first courageous battle taken on by gay and lesbian people, to now we're demanding trans equality.
What the power of having trans pride is to show that the struggle isn't over. You know, like the fact that it's still okay for employers to discriminate against workers based on their sexual preferences, and that's just not okay.
I'm here to support trans people. I'm a straight ally, and if straight people can't help out, then that's a big loss of allies for people who need help. Well, there's so much exclusion from all other groups where people could find a home, like their hobbies, their interests, their religion. Any group that feels exclusion like that needs to have a place and a way to organize.
Activist collective of trans, gender nonconforming, genderqueer, ally, many gendered people, here based in Seattle, and our mission is to empower trans activists and our allies to combat oppression on the basis of sexual orientation and gender identity in Washington State, and to create a safe state where trans people can be safe, free to be themselves, and awesome. So thank you.
We have the largest transgender and gender nonconforming community in the United States here in Seattle. I came from the South, so I feel like when I moved here 6 years ago, I came to the promised land, literally. You have the freedom here to be whoever you are, and that's a beautiful thing. It's not only tolerated, it's celebrated.
This is an amazing opportunity, something that's prolific, that we're actually standing up and being ourselves and being out.
I think so many in this community start off in great fear and shame because of what society has taught them about being trans. And to come to a place of feeling pride about who you are is just such a great lift in one's spirit, and it makes a huge difference in one's life.
I got a tattoo in order to show being proud of being trans.
I think it's a really big step in spreading awareness and equality, which is something that the trans community really needs right now.
What do we want? Justice! What do we want? Justice!
The first actual pride that's specifically for the trans or the T of the LGBT. The lesbian, gay, and bi, that's more gender orientation, while ours is gender reality, if you would.
You know, for a long time, transgender were excluded from lesbian events. They would say, you know, you're not a genetic woman, so you can't come to these. And it kind of made us feel left out.
Even gays and lesbians, a lot of them don't understand transgender people because it's gender identity, and gender is very different from sexual orientation. And so they don't understand if their brain matches their body their whole life, it's hard for them to understand why it's difficult for us, right? Why it's different for us. And our gender expression is important, and important to be just allowed to be free to be who we are.
If it hadn't been for the gay community, I wouldn't have had this perfect cocoon in which to transition. But there's a certain path down which we go that gay men and drag queens and lesbians and such, they'll never get.
You know, sexuality is so fluid, as well as gender is so fluid, and these two things are happening at the same time right now, and it's just like making a lot of things unstable in a sense that what's happening, but nobody has the answers. And I think the best thing I can say about that is let's just all let it happen, because I think it's gonna make the world a better place. I think people are gonna be less angry about talking about their sexuality and their gender and more open to saying, what's happening right now is gender fluidity, right? We're talking about that. And I think sexual fluidity is happening as well, which is a very important thing to talk about.
We want people to be more aware of transgenders and to see us as equals, nothing more, nothing less.
There's still so little representation of the community.
Especially for the trans men community. We still are pretty invisible, especially if we've been in transition for more than 3 years. But you'd be amazed at how many people, including doctors, who, when I tell them I'm in transition, they do things like, well, you should wear a dress, or our favorite.
Well, the hormones make the facial hair go away.
Yeah.
He's been in transition so long, people think he's going the other direction.
I think that the worst thing that I've had to face is the judgment and the misunderstanding. I just think that if people would take the time to understand who we are and understand that we're not a joke, and I know that the media takes, it should take a lot of responsibility for that.
Well, I'm almost 50, so I was a very young child when all the films came out with transgender murderers in them.
I was never necessarily forced with the image that being trans or being gay wasn't acceptable until I started watching television. And I kind of, I didn't necessarily identify with the people that I saw on TV, so I wasn't sure if that's who I was. I know I was sitting at home watching like old school like Jerry Springer videos, and how it originally started, having this trans woman presence on his television show. And it was like a joke.
But my first exposure to gay people was also killers. I saw Cruising when I was a teenager, the Al Pacino movie about the gay SM serial killer. And my dad was a cop, and a homicide detective in Area 6 in Chicago, which was the gay neighborhood. So all of my early exposures to queer people of all stripes were criminals and killers, fictional or actual.
For me, it's like that judgment's still there and people think that I'm trying to fool them. Okay, so I'm gonna change my gender just to what, entertain you? Like just to trick you or just to like wanna like, you know, get you drunk at a club and take you home and say surprise? Like no, for people to put that judgment onto me, it gets me annoyed because I'm just like, you affiliate me like with what your idea is of a trans person. It's like, why don't you experience me as a person, just as a person, and then make your judgment.
The medical aspects of transition are labyrinthine and strange. It's often at the discretion of whose ever office you walk into. All these sort of alphabet soup acronyms and archaic documents that are very politically charged with how they were created and by who. There have been fights, there have been protests. Trans people have showed up at these secret meetings determining all these standards that control how we can alter our bodies, and yet a porn star can go get like watermelon-sized implants or whatever with no need for counseling.
The medical model basically consists of a check with a therapist to find out if you're capable of informed consent. Or in some cases, it requires, depending on the institution that's administering the treatment, they can require long periods of mental health care to make sure that you are a good candidate for transition under their definition. So it's very subjective and differs by place. The medical model is really misperceived by so many people. If you are going to access medical care, you must have a diagnosis, unless you're rich and then you buy whatever you want. If you're going to access medical care, you have to follow that system one way or another. How the system is interpreted or how it's administered is completely subjective, and that's where we have the chance to make a difference.
I've seen prejudice occasionally, certainly amongst my colleagues, and I think a lot of it is just ignorance. They don't know how to deal with patients like this, you know, and some of them have asked me, and I said, well, it's easy. They're humans just like you and me. I was a young kid, maybe in the first grade, and the water fountain, there was two of them. One said white, the other one said colored. And I asked my dad, which one do I drink out of? And he goes, I don't know, why don't you go try them? So I tasted them, and they tasted the same. Then I came back and I told him that, and he says, then I guess it doesn't matter, does it? Prejudice is something that I think we're knocking down the doors, and I think we're doing that through education. As I said before, if my colleagues would just get out there and just educate people, you know, the prejudice will go away, eventually. It might not be in our lifetime. Maybe it'll take 2 or 3 generations, but I think it eventually will go away.
You know, the suicide rate for people who are trans is pretty damn high.
41%?
And it doesn't necessarily go away once they start transition. If they stay isolated, if they don't bond with their community, if they don't have that support network, when things come crashing down, when somebody misgenders them or a family member says something awful, they don't have anything to fall back on. And that's when we lose them. There is nothing worse than being isolated.
Whether you have to join a chorus or a theater group or whatever, you find community. There are like-minded people near you, find them. And the internet gives us that freedom to find that now, versus when I grew up, that wasn't there.
Biological family isn't everything, so if they are not completely accepting, don't worry about it. Find the people who are accepting and try to keep them in your life.
People appreciate that. They appreciate your honesty and they appreciate your strength if you show it. And it's going to be more for you than anything else.
It's never too late. Continue going forever and don't honestly stop unless you, even if you have to, don't stop anyway.
The outside world is only just now catching up on what transsexual people are. They're only just now kind of figuring out that we exist.
There's a whole world out there that's accepting, and it's just it's worth the experience to be yourself and to just lose all that baggage and weight.
Trans rights are moving so fast, and that's the thing that I keep telling my brothers and sisters in the trans community. Calm down. There's no need to be angry. Things are changing fast. I'm 52, you guys. I've seen so much change in the last 3 years. I can't even believe it.
According to Time Magazine, we've reached the trans tipping point, right? There is this breakthrough in awareness about trans people and trans issues. Where are we on trans rights? We are having the conversation.
We are still fighting for gay rights to marry each other 50 years later. And within 3 years, trans rights are going left and right. We're being able to get surgeries covered under, healthcare things. We have television shows, we have movies, we have all these things, and people are talking about their children being trans. To me, I'm the guy that always looks at the glass half full. It's incredible.
Tell me how you're feeling. Tell me, what month are you in right now?
Oh, let's see, 7.5, I guess. It'll be 8 in July, like 18th, I think. It's weird. I think I'm having less dysphoria in some respects and more in other respects. Like, more confidence because my voice is lower. I'm getting a lot of hair.
And then everything changes completely. Your skin changes, your sensitivity to things change, your everything changes from head to toe. And then you start to see your fat distribute differently. You start to see your muscles thin out. You start to see that, you're getting all of this overflow of emotion, I guess like awareness of emotion.
But one thing that's clear is that I don't cry, really, and I used to cry. I'm glad to lose it, because I never wanted that, and it's okay to feel emotion, but the way I was processing it or dealing with it wasn't okay with me, and it was affecting my life.
That being that I didn't have as much, the testosterone, just made me not care. I was just like a total douchebag, And then once I transitioned, I really came into a feeling of being balanced. It just made sense.
So it's been months, and I kept expecting this aha moment, which I did not receive. But a week or two ago, I just quietly realized, oh, yeah, I feel better. And I feel more normal.
You have to reprogram your whole hormone system. Your whole body changes, your immune system changes, your muscle mass decreases. For me, I was put, I guess, thrown back into puberty in my mid-20s, and then had to go into society and function as a grown-up woman.
I can't wait to freaking take my shirt off and go swimming. That's one of the key points that any F to M will tell you. I'm proud that I'm doing something about it and not hiding anymore, because it just wears on you, man. So yeah, I can't wait for that surgery. Got to get going on that. I think when I will think I'm brave is when I say something to my family.
The advice for trans people is the same as advice for gay or lesbian or bi people. Don't sit there fearing your family's rejection. Burst in there and make them fear yours. The only leverage you have over your family, particularly your parents as an adult child, is your presence in their lives. And if they can't love and respect and accept you, then make yourself scarce. A lot of parents of queer kids will try to control them with their disapproval or their anger or their silence. And if you respond to that disapproval, anger, and silence by editing yourself, by remaining closeted, by not mentioning your same-sex partner, by not discussing the details of your transition, or the fact of your transition, that incentivizes their hostility, anger, silence, and disapproval. They will never stop it because they're using it to control you.
Sitting in my apartment and hiding who I am all the time and talking in a higher voice. I even used to do that when my voice was higher. I used to talk even higher on purpose and do all this little shit to hide. If my parents weren't religious, I really don't think it would be nearly as hard.
The family that loves and accepts is no longer the exception. They're the rule. On the opposite end of this is when they come around, you have to forgive them. For every shitty thing they said, for every shitty thing they did, you have to let it go, right? You have to forgive and accept them in the same way that they had embraced and accepted you.
God, just taking that step of telling them, it's so hard. It's really hard.
He needs to tell them. You can't assume that the people you want to educate and bring along on your issues are your fans. The average sort of Joe Blow cisgendered straight person in the suburbs is not a fan of trans people. They're hearing about trans people, they might have some questions about trans people, and you have to educate them. You have to answer those questions when they're laid before you. And I don't think you're not allowed to ask that question as an answer to a question.
I like it when people ask me stuff about it. Not because I want attention, but I mean, if someone I knew was doing this, I'd be all up in their shit. Oh my God, this and that, you know, I'd totally want to know. But so, I don't know, it just feels kind of weird when people are silent. I still haven't said anything to my family, and it's the thing that agonizes me the most. It's the thing that made me not do this until I was 49.
If it's bothering you and you feel like you need to tell your parents, then you need to find the right time. But if it's not bothering you and you just feel like it's actually going to be detrimental to your relationship to your parents, I don't think it's really an important thing. It's generational. If your parents are 80 years old and they might not understand it, why even bother? Why make it a situation that could become not a positive situation? But for me, it's about respect also for your parents. You know, it's just respect for your parents. I wouldn't show up to my parents' house wearing my tank top and my tattoo showing and looking like that and their friends over. I just don't do that out of respect for my parents. I think you have to understand, you know, cultural differences and all the differences that happen with, you know, where your parents came from and all those things. I think it's important for you to make the decision, however that is.
I always caution trans people to be very gentle with the people around them. And you have to realize that we have internally struggled with this our whole lives, be it 20, 30, 40, 50 years, 60 years, 70 years before we transition. And we understand that process, even if we can't articulate it, we have felt it. And the people around us are surprised. They haven't had that kind of time. They don't know what's going on. They're frightened for themselves and frightened for you.
I want to know, like, how did you, I mean, I'm having problems, like, telling my parents and family. I haven't told them anything. I'm 49 years old, and I'm afraid.
I know how painful these processes and decisions and actions are to take. You are going to have to do something at some point, because you're right, even though they pretend they're not noticing, at some point out in public, it's going to come up. And
it's going to piss me off.
Yeah,
you know,
and it's going to be very upsetting for everybody.
Yeah.
It's better if you can, you know, sit down in a safe, comfortable environment for them and say, I know this is going to be, this may be hard for you. Don't promise anything. They say, I know this may be hard for you, but I've looked into this. I've had a tough life in many respects. And, you know, start from what they know. Don't just hit them over the head with a hammer. Start from what they know and tell them the things that they, not necessarily the exact things, but tell them there are some things that happened to you as a child that you hid from them because you didn't know how to talk about it. And you don't want to break their hearts. But what happened to you as a child would have broken their hearts. And you've looked into this, and you've been very serious about it, and you've studied it, and you've talked to a lot of people, and you realize now that there is something that you can do that can help you, and you want to bring them along with you. And here it is.
I'm the kind that takes his trouble light. I can walk through fire and come out all right. I'm never down and everyone agrees. They call me fearless. Oh, that's me.
So, are you gonna dance tonight?
A little bit.
It just made me warm. I'm never down and everyone agrees. They call me fearless.
Tonight is a celebration of my 50th birthday and my 1 year of transitioning. I've never had a big party. I've had little parties or, get-togethers, but this is a huge one. So I really wanted my favorite band, which is Roy K. Trio. They're here, and all my friends are here to celebrate it.
I've known Kim about 10 years, and we met when we worked at a barber shop together. When I first met Kim, we were pretty much friends right off the bat. It was pretty instant.
I just always thought she was very, very warm and friendly, and obviously very social dancer and all of that. And every time I ever saw her, she was always kind of like came up and greeted me like extra special.
We met originally on YouTube. We both have YouTube channels. The F2M community has a very huge community. And then we met for the first time in person this year at Gender Odyssey. And we just like hit it off like, oh my God, you're like my long lost brother. It's just, yeah. Cool.
Just about everybody, if not everyone, knows that I'm transitioning, but I think they know. If they don't know, they'll know when they see my facial hair. Some of these people haven't seen me for a while, so.
Yeah. And it's like I'm like, what, a couple months ahead of you on testosterone, but you got more hair than me, you bastard. Like, you bitch.
Well.
I do know that Kim is transitioning. I think it's awesome. I'm super proud of him, and I'm honored to be his friend and to be able to witness that and support him through it.
I think it's amazing. I think it's really brave, especially to do it late in life. But I know it's beyond just the concept itself. It's complicated, and there's his family. It's a journey, and I think he's very fortunate to have the friends and the support that he has. But it's still something you predominantly have to do on your own, and I really commend him for doing it because I don't think a lot of people would have the strength to do it.
Either way you spin it, it's like starting over. I mean, there's a lot of things that you miss, of course, and there's a lot of wonderful things to look forward to. And while a few of them that are later on in their transition sort of know the ropes a little better, we're all sort of on this journey together.
Oh, nice! Oh, that was awesome! Okay, we have to name it.
So.
I want to say happy birthday, and you are an inspiration.
Pre, post, whatever it is, like I think that he is a beautiful person, and I'm happy that he gets to be the person that he feels that he's always been.
And I wish you the best in that aspect of, I hope that it goes easier from here on out because you've struggled for so long.
See, I'm trying to do what you're doing. Yeah. You're one of my inspiration. Yeah. You and Wolverine.
Make no mistake, my 1 year transition is a huge part of it because my goal when I started this at age 48 was by the time I'm 50, I want to be legally a man. I want to have facial hair. I want to have lost weight, and I want to feel good. And all of that, I don't cry much off anymore. All of that came true. And so, shit, I haven't been emotional. I haven't been overly emotional lately, but I guess it's hitting me right now. I'm a 50-year-old man, and that's awesome. I never wanted to be a 50-year-old woman, so now I don't have to be.
Yeah! Thank you, Roy! You're such a good dancer.
Transition is never easy, it's never perfect, and it's never over. But it does get easier, it gets better, and it gets less important as time goes by. There's always going to be somebody new that you have to either come out to or choose not to talk about your past with. It's never going to be perfect. But you just have to accept the journey without worrying about this illusory destination, because there really is no destination. It's all about how you get there.
If you could just fill out your intake forms for me first.
Are you Kara?
Yeah.
Oh, nice to meet you. Oh, I think it's already partially filled out. Male. How old am I? 50. Have you been to our website? Oh, man.
All right, come on back.
Wow, this place is nice.
Yeah.
Does the surgery happen here?
Yep, it sure does.
Oh,
we
good.
have just right through that door. Actually, we have our
Okay.
2 state-certified ambulatory
cool.
centers, so everything is done here moving forward.
Cool.
I've always been a, a fan of the underdog. And I've found the trans community to always be the underdog. Although in Seattle, I've seen it blossom and bloom over the last decade to be, really a force to be reckoned with.
Nobody's seen me naked besides Malia like in years. Anyway, very big and fat.
Now we have legislation that says that insurance can't discriminate against transgender health. Equality is just a concept. Everybody deserves the same rights. I think our legislators are finally starting to see it. And yeah, we're slowly breaking down the doors. It's going to happen. But it's all about just being treated as a human being that's respected and treated fairly. So, it's nothing more complicated than that. Are you ready, Kim?
Come on in. Thank
right.
you.
Dr. Mangabat, very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, Kim, I see you found me through another patient, but from the internet.
Someone who gave you a great review on Yelp, I became friends with just on the internet. And he can't say enough good about you, but I don't remember his name.
Okay, fair enough. Well, it's interesting. Most of my patients actually come from other patients, especially from the trans community.
Ryan loved you guys. He said it was one of the best experiences of his life. So.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah. I was nervous, but not super nervous, but just, I'm meeting a new guy and I'm going to have to take my shirt off and all that stuff. But, so a little bit nervous and just curious. But now I'm super happy. He's really nice, seems extremely knowledgeable, very smart. I was really happy to learn of the work he's doing for the trans community.
I've noticed a few medications here that. How about the Wellbutrin?
Wellbutrin I take 1 a day.
And you take it for what?
Depression.
Okay.
Which has lessened by about 75%, starting about the 2nd month after I started T.
Okay. The decrease in depression was really after you started testosterone?
Yes. Major. like unbelievable cut in my depression.
No, that's not very uncommon. We see that all the time.
Yeah. I feel that I have to lose more weight. And so I'm really going to work on that and work on doing sort of pec exercises to, it makes the pec better defined for the surgeon. I just think of myself as being so big.
And maybe you were. But you lost a lot of weight.
I might be male, but I grew up in the girls' world of thinking you're fat no matter how much you weigh. So I'll tell you what, though, T has changed my brain a little because, I don't love my body, but I sure like it more now than I ever have. Even with the fat and stuff, I still think I look pretty good. So, not great, but
Yeah, it's about living in the body that you've always wanted. And
exactly.
So
I'm glad you understand that.
Well,
a lot of people don't get it.
Yeah, and frankly, it has a lot to do with the work that I'm in because it doesn't make any difference what your gender is.
Yep, that's right.
And you have to be comfortable in your own skin.
Were you surprised by anything that he told you that maybe you thought he was going to tell you something else?
Well, yeah, he said he didn't think I was all that big in the chest, and I consider myself extremely large, even though I've lost weight and I don't, put them up in a bra, but that I did not expect to hear at all. At all. I thought he was going to say, whoa, okay, you're quite large, and he did not say that. So it made me feel good, actually. So
this is the gland, and frankly, the amount of gland that you have, it's mostly skin. It's empty.
Okay.
So it's not
it's
huge
pretty
amounts.
Flat, I mean,
yeah.
But
it's not huge amounts. So,
okay.
And I'm going to put this right at the bottom of the gland, okay? And I usually put this little mark right here. All right, so that's the center here. Okay, where the middle of your chest is and the pectoralis major intersect is where the nipple belongs. If we put a line right here, Okay. Everything below that line is feminine. Everything above that line is masculine. Okay. Kim's mental shift, I think, will be significant. If he's like any other of my typical trans males. And the big thing is, all of a sudden, their body is going to match what their head sees. You know, they see themselves as males, and now they're not going to see a female chest. And that's a daily reminder every time you stand in a mirror. So, and in that respect, it's really not that different than any other surgery. You have a built-in pec implant called breast gland right there. And what we'll do is we'll actually shape that to make the pectoralis major muscle look bigger than it actually is. And then it'll match the rest of your body as well. I mean, whether they're female to male or male to female, they have an idea of what they should be. And there's certain things that they can do. Losing weight, people can do on their own. Getting rid of breast tissue, they can't get rid of. The average nipple size is about 22 millimeters. So we will be making them appropriately masculine sized nipples. And they will actually be skin grafts. So I'll take it from here, we create a very thin skin graft, and we'll create a brand new bed for where it's supposed to be. And it's measured pretty precisely during the surgery as well. The biggest question is, what's the scar going to look like? Yeah, that's the most common. Not everybody's concerned about it, but I would say the most common. The vast majority of people will develop some scars that are visible. And these scars that are visible hopefully won't be out of control. The incisions are going to be roughly about like this, okay? And then I'm going to take the tissue about like that. And the final incision will actually come down and sweep up like this.
Oh, okay. I think I'll probably cry with joy. I think it'll be a little freaky because I've lived with these for so long that even though I don't want them, I'm used to them. I think I'm going to feel much, much lighter. I think that I'm going to feel physically better because I'll be able to stand up. I never stand up straight, hardly ever, because I just sink down because it's so heavy. Mostly I'll just feel free, I think. This is gorgeous here. I come here a lot, so I feel really good because my knees are feeling better and I'm losing more weight, and I think I've lost 50 pounds now since November. The weight loss has really improved. My outlook, my physical, my knees feel better. I was in pain constantly before I lost this weight. I actually have this sense of well-being that I haven't had in a long time. Someone asked me like last night, they're like, well, how long have you been waiting for this? And I was like, well, since I was like 13, literally. That's a long time to wait. 37 years, Samson, do you want some water? Hold on. There you go. Knowing that I'm getting top surgery, not only knowing I'm getting top surgery for like in the next 5 years, but I'm getting it in like 2.5 months. And I can't believe it. And I don't want to have an illusion that my whole life is going to suddenly be great after that, because that's just kind of silly, but it is going to be a lot better in a lot of ways. I will literally hold my body differently, After meeting Dr. Mangabat, I still do have one slight concern, which is when he was talking about how a lot of the surgeons take out all breast tissue, and he doesn't.
And this right here, if we were to remove all of the gland, is going to look too flat and perhaps, almost just like a wall instead of a shape. And what we really want is a shape.
I was concerned because I am still bigger, and he was talking about how he wants the top to kind of match my stomach. I really don't want that. I don't want him to give me man boobs, basically. I got to talk to him about it, because I need to make sure that when that surgery's over, that I feel happy with it. I really don't want anything there, And I understand what he's talking about as far as having something so it's a shape, But I've seen some results from other surgeons, and they look like small boobs, and I can't have that. I am out at work with one person only, a young gal. She's gay, and that's it. So I'm not sure what to do because, honestly, they just know me as a dude, which is what I am, but I feel like my background is my own personal business, kind of, and I'm afraid if I tell people, like if I came out to all my coworkers, I think they would treat me differently. And maybe they wouldn't, but for sure they would think about me differently, and there's no way around that. And some of them might be like, oh, that's weird or interesting, and then forget about it, and others might never get it, you know? And I don't know, it's scary to think about.
In the bright light.
I have not told anyone in my family, so sometimes I feel like I should for my sake, and other times I feel like I shouldn't for their sake. So I really go back and forth on it, but I think I'm obviously going to tell my mom I'm having a surgery, at least, because you got to tell family. I mean, you could, you know, it's a major surgery. I got like 2 hours of sleep. I'm exhausted, so I was cleaning till like 1:30 in the morning. I couldn't sleep, so I'm nervous. My stomach hurts a little. Write it down for Valerie. I can't get a hold of her phone. So here's my instructions right here. I have to rest at a 45-degree angle. Can't lie on my stomach for a month. I can't lift anything over like 10, 15 pounds for a month. No strenuous activity for a month. I can't submerge my incisions for a month. You might have like constipation, depression, stuff like that. But nobody I've ever known that's had this has had depression afterwards, so. Because this is a surgery everyone's happy to have. I called my mom and I just said I'm having a drastic breast reduction, which is true, actually, so. She was like, oh, and that's being paid for? And I was like, yep. She goes, what cup are you going, what cup size are you going to? And I said, very, very small, you know, so. And she said, well, you've lost a lot of weight, so. I don't know. I don't know what they think, but that's all I said, so. I am a little nervous about it, but I shouldn't be nervous about it. It'll be fine. Even if it doesn't look perfect, it's not going to look perfect. Nobody's chest looks like how they envision usually. I'm excited. I still can't believe it's happening. I really can't. It feels like a dream. This, I won't have to put underneath anymore. I've always had to put it underneath, so it won't. I'll still keep, it smells good, but I won't have to use it anymore. This, I won't have to use anymore. Fresh balls. It keeps your, I don't have balls yet, but it keeps you dry, and I won't have to use that anymore. And I won't have to use my binders anymore, which I don't even know where they are. All right, I'm gonna take a shower. I can't believe this is happening already so soon. The time went by really fast. Yeah. I've been on T for 19 months. And I thought I'd be lucky if I got this surgery within 5 years, that I'd be really lucky, so. This is like one of the greatest days of my life. Starting T was one of the greatest days of my life. And also sort of coming out to everyone, I guess, about this was, you know, a good day, because it made me feel power, like I had power when I let it go like that.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. You set for today?
Yeah, I'm nervous. Yeah, I'm excited.
Well, I don't understand why you're nervous. It's only surgery, right?
It's gonna be awesome.
If you weren't nervous, it wouldn't be very normal. All right, what we're going to do today is, the first thing I'm going to do is take your photos. And then turn all the way. Good. Then I'm going to put these marks on you. And the marks will actually help me sculpt what we need to do during surgery, because as soon as you lay down, everything changes. You have a lot of glandular tissue way out of here. But the testosterone has emptied you out pretty well. Now, if I mark the level of the crease, I know that I can take everything between there and the crease, and it'll definitely close. If I look at your arm, and I divide from the armpit crease to the elbow crease in half, and then I divide that in half, that gives me a reference for roughly where the nipple ought to go. Now the pectoralis sweeps up like this. We want to do something similar. So we're going to pick something right about there. And by swooping that incision up, we accentuate the shadow of the pec, okay? So that's the
like
first
an
line.
art.
Well, that's exactly what this is.
How many of these have you done, do you think?
400 or 500. The big thing for me, and the eye-opening experience for me, is understanding that the human body actually has a physical form underneath the skin that I need to represent on the skin. You know, when I see chest reconstructions on the internet, I see a nice flat chest, but it doesn't look like a real male chest. And what's missing? Basically, what's missing is all the volume over the pectoralis major muscle, you know, the pec muscle, which everybody understands. So I've modified my procedures over the last couple of years, and in fact, I went back and I took a class in sculpting. Understanding the differences between male and female bodies is really important in helping you sculpt or help that person transform their body into what they want. It was an evolutionary process from looking at other people's work to saying, what can I do to make it better? And I think we've achieved that. Okay, arms down by your side. Yeah, and you can see all that to go away.
Then I'm getting excited.
Yeah, you should be. I'm going to have you step right up here so that I can look at you from a distance. And that looks pretty doggone close. All right, you have any questions? Last chance.
No, I'm good.
All right.
Just don't kill me.
There's always a risk with surgery. There are no guarantees that the surgery is going to be successful or effective, and I try to caution people to, take your time, make a very informed decision, talk to a lot of people, talk to a lot of doctors, do everything you can to get good information before you make a decision about what to do with your body.
This is a really long incision. In total length, probably 2 feet. So that's a lot of tissue that could potentially get infected. Meticulous hygiene is really necessary. You have to remember, it is an incision in a wound. And the bigger it is, the greater the chances of potentially contaminating it.
Picture yourself on the beach with your dog, staring at the ocean, taking deep breaths.
Binder, here I'll take this for you, is just a big piece of foam, and that's just to protect the nipple stents in the areas that they have liposuctions.
Okay.
And it's, it's tight to keep it in place, but it shouldn't be so tight that it's cutting into him. Okay.
All right.
And then these are the drains.
Okay.
He's got his cute little necklace.
Okay.
And this is what the fluid will look like.
Okay.
And they are attached. They're just basically, they're coming right out here through his chest. And that's just a very simple stitch, keeps it in place, and that'll come out next time he sees the doctor.
I feel like you can't breathe right.
You can't, and that's because you've got this big foam and binder on, and because your chest has just been excised. So don't worry about it.
Come with us.
I wish, yeah.
After surgery, I was feeling lost. It's this feeling of, did I make the right choice? What's gonna happen next? For me, a lot of it had to do with physically, how am I gonna look? Am I gonna look like a freak? Even when I started taking my hormones. Because I transitioned 20 so years ago, there was no internet, there were no pictures of other guys. So for me, it was like, how am I gonna look? Am I gonna look like a total like Martian or something? Like, I don't even know. But I think after about a week or two of recovery and letting my mind get out of that fog, I started to realize, wow, my life is about to change. And I all of a sudden just flipped and felt like the happiest man in the world. And it was like these things that I always equated to being feminine. My vagina didn't feel so much that way. It was always my chest. And I just felt so like, because they're there and people can see them and they automatically just go, oh, you're a female when they see this. So when I got rid of that, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe that I finally got rid of them. And this whole new world opened up for me.
It's the day after your surgery. How are you feeling?
I feel pretty good, pretty happy. I still can't believe it happened. And he did leave some breast tissue, but when I take this off and stand up straight and look in the mirror and then look sideways, it looks like I have pet. It's not like man boobs. I was a little paranoid, but no, I think it's pretty fucking good. I shouldn't swear. I think it's really good. I just can't believe they're not there. Everyone I know has said it looks right. Like that's how you should look, like that. And that's how I feel about it. I'm ecstatic, really. I'm not like jumping up and down or anything, but I really am. I'll just be laying there and just go, fuck, I can't believe it. I've thought about this since 9th grade, since I was like 14. So it's a long ass time to wait. It's the best thing ever, like in my life, really, I think. Yeah. I've never felt more confidence, ever. Like, I feel so free now, and being out in public, dancing's a big part of who I am, and I'm not self-conscious anymore. Before, I was always holding back because, I had to adjust, or I had to go out to the car and fix myself, or pulling my pants up and adjusting my shirt, constantly fidgeting like that. And I still do it a little bit, but it's only because it's a habit, not because I want to. So I'm starting to realize it and not do it anymore because I don't need to do it anymore. It's a freedom I've never had. This weekend, I saw several people who have not seen me since surgery. They were just like, whoa. They thought that I was still binding. And I was like, not wearing a t-shirt. And I'm like, no, man, I'm not. That's it, they're gone. And they were really like, oh my God. And before, I just felt like I just didn't want to be seen at all. And now I kind of do want to be seen. Like, here I am, Yeah, a lot of people were commenting, you look great. You've never looked happier. I've never seen you happy before. I just never realized, like, A, that people cared that much. And B, that I was so not happy before. So yeah, I'm talking to girls. I'm getting compliments. And who's that guy over there? And he dances really good. And oh, why didn't you dance with me?
Now I feel more like alive. I feel more charismatic. I feel like I'm happy to engage with others. I don't have to sit back and, be so guarded. I can actually just be myself. It's like I had to calculate what I was gonna say, what I was gonna do, how it was coming across. It was so much energy I was wasting in my own head. I can't really explain it. It's just like, I wake up in the morning and it's like, I'm happy.
To remove the remnants of the female breast and make a male chest out of it is a huge leap forward in body image. And we all know that body image and self-esteem are very, very closely tied. If you don't have the right body image, your self-esteem really suffers.
I'm not trying to date right now. I still have to think about that.
Through my transition, I started to become more comfortable with my body, which was incredible. And then I started to realize, oh my God, I'm not sure how to confront this with women. I wasn't comfortable going home and having sex with somebody without them knowing that I'm actually a man who has a vagina. So I had to work through that. And I had to work through it where I just eventually realized that I like myself too much. And I was tired of worrying what the world thought about me. And I was tired of worrying that I'm not going to be able to have sex because I'm not comfortable in my body. And I was like, I just threw it all out the window. And one day I just told somebody, you know, I happen to have a vagina and I'm not sure if you're all going to be okay with that sexually. And they were like, what? Who cares? And that just opened the door for me. The best thing for you to do is to put yourself out there. You might be rejected, but you're gonna be rejected whether or not you're trans anyway. It might happen. It's a part of going and dating and doing all those things. People are very open to it and very open to really respecting your masculinity or your queerness or whatever you are projecting out there. They're very open to it and very loving about it. And if they're not, guess what? The door is there and you can walk right out. It's really not that difficult.
I feel like it's kind of like lying. Like, a straight girl's gonna assume certain things. They just are. I don't have some of those things, one of those things. So I feel like I'd be lying, kind of. There's so many ways you could do it, and some people just tell people right away, I'm trans, and if you don't like it, then we can't date. And other people date and then tell them later, and then they get rejected, or the girl's like, oh, okay, I don't care. But I'm afraid of all of those scenarios, so I don't really care. But I can dance as much as I want with any of these straight girls and get flirted with and stuff. That's cool.
Romantically, strategically, it's a good idea for trans people to go where trans people are. Not that trans people have to date other trans people, but the more trans people there are in a particular place, the more cisgendered people there are going to be who are down with trans people socially, potentially romantically, and sexually too. It's the same strategy that gay people employed. Clump up.
My family didn't accept me for a long time. When I was a gay woman, I was, like I said earlier, alcoholic and drug addict. I was just a mess. My parents actually disowned me. And it was probably the best thing they ever did, by the way. But through that, I got sober and I really started to understand myself, and I had the opportunity to start my transition. And then through my transition, I sort of hooked back up with my family. And they were like this. They were like open arms. They were like, we understand. We realize that that's exactly what it is. You just needed to be a man. And it was like, what? Who are you people? I'm very, very blessed, and I understand that, and I don't take it as for granted at all, because I know a lot of trans people don't have the same opportunity. My parents accepted me. And it's not a shameful thing to accept your child as a trans person. It's completely, totally okay. And I think it's important as a parent to understand that love should be unconditional. And if your child is happy being that, you should just accept that.
Because I love my parents, but I've got to start thinking about myself. Like, I can't live my life because I don't want to hurt so-and-so. I don't think they're going to jump up and down for joy for me. But I think the fact that I'm happy now, and I never really have been before, they deserve to know that. Yeah, I don't know what to... Oh. Well, I think Vegas is going to be like the first real vacation I've ever had in my life, because for me a vacation means water. I haven't swam for years because I was too self-conscious. The advice I've ever given anyone is be 100% sure and research it first. And know what you're getting into. You have to make the decision and just do it. Just do it. Yeah, I'm going in that pool. That's the first damn thing I'm gonna do. I just whipped that fucker off and dove in the pool. This will be
People often think trans people are trying to be someone who they're not. but really trans people are trying very hard to be themselves. This transition is absolutely critical. You'll see a powerful, positive change. Yes, trans people often suffer horrific abuse. These are horrible things that happen to trans people because other people are afraid of their difference. We have to create a society that doesn't think that someone else's difference hurts us.